brought to you almost live from the Dude in the Basement Studios. Why? 'Cause that's where the good stuff is. It's Sips, Suds, and Smokes with your smoking hosts, the good old boys. Suds, Suds, Suds. It's time for more Suds.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this Suds segment where great beer meets really bad radio. This is good old gal Julieanna, and joining me today are my esteemed co-hosts, good old boy Dave.
Well, it's howdy Davy time, everybody.
Good old boy Kendall.
It's always great to be here. Cheers.
Good old gal June.
Good to be here.
And introducing for his first appearance ever with us, all the way from Clarks, Vegas, is good old boy Matt.
Hello.
That's the only time you'll ever get applauded, so you know.
No problem.
Savor it, savor it. So, Kendall and his wife June do a beer blog that we'll find out more about later in the show, and Matt is with the Nashville Beer Blog, and you'll learn more about that later in the show as well.
On this episode, we'll be discussing one of my favorite events to attend every year.
Star Wars Fantasy Camp?
No, but thanks for bringing that up. I was talking about something even better than Christmas, and that's the annual Beer Bloggers and Writers Conference.
The nerd force is strong with this one.
Dave, be nice now, or I'll tell everyone about your doll collection.
They're action figures, Julie, not dolls.
Then why do you have tea parties with them?
It's not tea parties. I have bottle shares.
Oh, that's way cooler.
Maybe we should get back on track.
Good idea, Matt. Good idea. So, the Beer Bloggers and Writers Conference is held annually in a different city every year. Last year was Asheville, North Carolina, and this year we were down in Tampa, Florida. Dave and I have gone for the last 2 years, but Kendall has been to a few more. How many have you been to, Kendall?
I've been to 5. I went to Indianapolis in 2012, then Boston, San Diego, Asheville, and now Tampa.
Wow. That's pretty cool. It's really a great chance to meet with other bloggers and writers, learn from industry experts, and exchange ideas.
And drink a ton of great beer.
Absolutely. So, let's get started. We'll kind of go day by day and discuss the different sessions and events. We're not drinking beer today. That is the sound of Dave crying, by the way. But we'll all bring up some beers that we tried that stood out to us and rate them. Dave, if you can stop crying for a minute, why don't you go over the Suds ratings?
Oh, God. We won't be tasting any delicious beers today for this episode, but we will discuss a few. We'll rate them with these Suds ratings, plus our signature belching sounds. Here are those ratings now. 1. That sucks. Give me anything but a bud. Number 2. Was that a belch? 3. Ah, what a relief. 4. A body should really not make that sound. And 5. Listen to that hang time. Give me another.
So June and I flew straight to Tampa and had our own little pre-conference activities, but Dave and Julie drove down, and they and Matt went to the pre-conference excursion, the official pre-conference in Jacksonville. How was that?
Awesome.
Very well done.
I was really impressed.
Yeah.
First time in Jacksonville, especially checking out their beer scene.
Yeah, so it started a little rough, I would say. We went to a really great place first, Wicked Barley. Beautiful deck. It's right on the water. Has a kayak launch. It's well-built brew system. Head brewers from Cigar City and Duck Rabbit previously, so incredibly knowledgeable, well-run place. It was lacking one thing, though, and I can't put my finger on it. You either of you remember, there's something that wasn't there.
There's no air conditioning, for one thing.
But I could live without that. But it was something else. There was something on a beer tour that you would normally get. It just what was it, Julie?
BEER.
That's right. No beer.
What's the deal?
Well, they're not officially open yet, so they're still waiting on their final permits and everything, and they're finishing their build out. But when there is beer there, I'm certain it will be phenomenal. So
Yeah, and it's a beautiful setting, a beautiful place, and kind of tucked in a neighborhood too. So I think they're going to do really well there.
absolutely. So we left there, and we were a little early for the next planned stop. So luckily, the Jack's Ale Trail folks really thought quick on their feet and took us to a local bottle shop where we could do a little shopping, have a couple pints at the tap room. I had a hibiscus guava Berliner Weiss from MIA Brewing that was phenomenal. It was very refreshing. It's a great kind of beer to have after you've just sweated your butt off in a closed down brewery with no beer or air conditioning. So it was a really good thing. And then where'd we go, Matt?
Aardwolf Brewing was next,
And we had lunch
and it was great.
and beer.
They had some really great beers. I really enjoyed the dark and a sour they had that wasn't exactly on our flights, but we somehow found it as well.
Yes, yeah. So they provided everybody with a complimentary flight. There was pizza and wings and stuff and salad. If you're into salads, not really my bag, but whatever. How'd you like the beers there, Julie?
I thought they were pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and they had like a good variety of stuff too.
Yeah.
There was quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, there was. The sours were nice, and
The building was great.
the building's
It
gorgeous.
was a former ice house from way back in the day. So it was right next to the railroad.
That's terrible beer. The Ice House beer?
Well, it wasn't that.
Good job, Kendall. I like that. Way to drop that in.
So then, after Aardwolf, we went to Engine 15.
Very, very cool space. Again, no air conditioning. I don't know something about Florida and air conditioning, but we went and they took us around to their, I guess it's their tap room, but it was like not built out.
It was a production facility with a tap system.
Yeah.
And the neat thing wasn't that the one that was right next to a railroad?
Yep.
So if they wanted, I don't even know if it still works or not, but they could have their ingredients brought in by
Rail
train.
car. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think that's the way it was pre-prohibition.
Okay.
Because part of the tracks had been covered by
I thought so, yeah.
a bocce court, I want to say it is.
It was closed in, yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
hibachi?
And then, like bocce.
oh, I thought you said hibachi.
No,
Sorry, I'm kind
not
of hungry.
hibachi. No hibachi
Yes.
grills outside.
Okay.
No. But a really, really cool place.
It used to be Pabst near there, right? Or something, right? Wasn't there Pabst? Remember that sign on the wall?
Yes, from the other side.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. We were drinking a lot while we were there. So
Yeah.
It's kind of fuzzy.
But it was a really cool place and pretty solid beers. And they treated us like royalty there. It was really cool.
Oh, yeah. No, they were great.
Yeah, free sunglasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also had a very good cider.
Yes, I was just going to bring that up. That they're one of the an interesting amount of breweries down there in Florida that are doing ciders as well as beer.
And yet no air conditioning. It's like it eluded them for somehow. I don't know. I don't get it.
It's okay. And then we had dinner. Remember dinner?
No, but I remember it being great.
We went to a Kickbacks gastropub, and they were incredible because it was almost like a castle. It was like an indoors. Upstairs was the regular restaurant, but then downstairs was exclusive just for us.
VIPs.
Exactly. And they had this crazy cellar, so many beers locked away. It was like a dungeon, basically. It was very awesome, all the beers they had down there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then on the main level, even, I was impressed by like the steampunkiness of all the taps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really cool. The food was great, and it was a really awesome day.
I would say that as far as how they planned it out and executed. They were extremely organized, and they were really knowledgeable too. So I think everyone on that Jack's Ale Trail did a great job and really made it a good time.
Yeah. Carol, Patty, Sarah, and Becky, if you can hear us, thank you so much. I mean, you guys went above and beyond, and the fact that we're beer nerds that were on that, I mean, our expectations are kind of high to begin with, and it was just a great selection. The enthusiasm for the city was awesome. Going to that little the beer shop, in between places shop, to help kill a little bit of time, I thought was really great too. And I mean, Jacksonville's got a really good beer scene, and
it's growing.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I mean, it makes me want to come back and
drink more of their beer
and drink some more and drink some more. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, any last thoughts about that?
Yes, I really appreciated them buying a couple cases of beer and putting them on the bus.
That's always nice.
Some of the guys like Huck were starting to get rowdy. And
Huck's a little uncontrollable when he doesn't have beer.
Yeah, he's very uncontrollable when he does have beer. So,
can't win with Huck.
Exactly, you're kind of messed up either way.
Well, when we come back, we're going to have Kendall and June talk about their pre-conference excursion right after these brief messages.
Rolling clouds and crashing surf, iridescent dunes reflecting by the light of a rising, glowing moon. Seashore mesmerizing, night breeze hypnotizing. We've come across these back roads none too soon. Look to the left, to the right. Keep your eyes on the road, my darling. Wondering if we're only passing through. Open roads and open windows. My hand is yours forever, sweet love.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are in the midst of discussing our recap, I should say, of the BBC16, otherwise known as the Beer Bloggers Convention. Now we're going to put the microphones over to Kendall and June and let them talk about what they did on their pre-excursion.
Unofficial pre-excursion.
Yeah, the official pre-excursions are great. We've done them in a couple cities, but sometimes we get in early with some of our friends that have been going to the conference for years and kind of do an unofficial one. So Thursday we there's a streetcar right there that goes through Tampa up to historic Ybor City, and so we hopped on this streetcar to Ybor. What was that area like, Gene?
It was really cool. You can definitely see like the Cuban influence from there in Tampa. Very historic, like the brick streets. It was really awesome to see.
Yeah, it felt like going back in time, like 100 years. And we had lunch at Tampa Bay Brewing, which is right there, and then we ran into the good folks from Beer Judges Chronicles who were eating lunch here, and they told us about Cigar City Cider and Mead, which is right there in Ybor.
Amazing.
Yeah, mostly ciders and meads from Cigar. It is the Cigar City. It's their cider and mead shop, but they had a lot of guest taps too. I had a great watermelon goza mead combo that just blew me away. That was definitely a Suds 5.
Wow.
Can't even remember. There was so much beer, it's hard to remember who made what. But we also ran into the great folks from Two Beer Guys. So Ryan, Amber, and Sean showed up, and they've been to every Beer Bloggers conference, and so they're old friends. We met up with them, and that's when the day got a little crazy.
Yeah, that's when the girls decided it was time to head back to the hotel because we were hungry.
Yeah.
That was probably the smart move.
It was very smart. June and Amber got on the streetcar and went back to the hotel for dinner and rest, while Sean, Ryan, and I got an Uber and headed to Angry Chair, which I think was one of the better brewers in Tampa. Their Turbid IPA, I told them it reminded me of a blend of Hetty Topper and Treehouse Julius, which aren't bad beers.
Wow, that's cool.
Really, that kind of really hazy, citrusy, bright IPA.
Yeah.
Angry Chair was making fantastic beers. A few other places we stopped, kind of, bar hopping along the way. And we finally ended up and closed down Cigar City's brew pub, which is a great place. We met the brewer. Crazy thing is, it's a small beer world. Our Uber driver that took us there was actually a friend of Maddie, one of our good friends here in Nashville.
Yeah.
And we convinced him to sign out of Uber and come in and have a beer with us.
Nice.
So we bought him a beer as his tip, and so he was done for the night. Because you can't, obviously drive Uber if you've been drinking beer.
I texted Kendall. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he said, "We're drinking with our Uber driver." I'm like, this is like a great idea to me.
So, he was done for the night, and we got another Uber back pretty late. But it was a great day. Cigar City's brew pub was good. They had beers there that are only available in the brew pub. We got to meet the brewer. He was a really cool guy. It's a fantastic beer scene. I didn't know much about Tampa other than Cigar City.
Yeah.
But a lot of fun there.
I think we all got to learn a lot about Tampa beer scene over the next couple of days. So sounds like Kendall shut down the city Thursday night. Somehow made it back to the hotel. We all, Matt, Julie, and I all spent that night in Jacksonville. And then, Matt, you took the shuttle down into Tampa the next morning. Julie and I took a more leisurely route in the car. We got there a little bit late, missed a little bit of the opening. But I know, Kendall, I know you were there for Julia Hurt's opening welcome. How was that?
It's always great. I mean, Julia kicks off the Beer Bloggers Conference every year. That's her primary job at the conference, is just to be a great ambassador for beer. If you don't know her, you can find her on Twitter at Hers Muses. But she is with the Brewers Association and craftbeer.com and is probably one of the biggest cheerleaders for beer in the country.
Craft beer, particularly.
Just amazing knowledge of craft beer. She wrote an excellent book also on beer and food pairing. So it's called Pairing Beer. I just got a copy. Check that out if you're really into beer and food. But Julia is infectious. Her enthusiasm just fills the room and gets everybody so excited. It's always a great way to kick off the conference because we are just pumped for craft beer at that point. And
absolutely.
She is just one of a kind. Really enjoy hearing her every year.
So that's cool. So while that was going on, Julieanna went to a local beer store and did some shopping. What was the name of that store? Lukens.
Yeah. That place was phenomenal. A friend of a friend told me about it, and with us driving down, I knew that we were going to bring beer back. So I wanted to make sure that before we got knee-deep in the Beer Bloggers Convention and was drinking so much that I would not be able to remember what I was buying, I wanted a clear frame of mind. So those guys were phenomenal. I mean, they gave me such a great variety of stuff that I was later going to be drinking at various, places throughout our conference. And it was outstanding. And the vehicle came back a little heavier. Actually, a lot heavier.
Which is amazing because it went down full of beer. And I want to thank some of our Tennessee brewers, Blackberry Farm, Yazoo, Mantra Artisanales, and Mill Creek all donated beer for us to take and share with our friends down in Florida.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it was, people really liked our beer. I'm hoping that someday we can host the Beer Bloggers Convention because, Nashville is bringing it.
I think maybe we could do that one day.
Absolutely. So the first session, I believe, was beer by the numbers.
No, I was beer in Florida after June.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
So how was that session?
Oh, that's right. You guys had pulled in right at the end of that. It was amazing because, the only thing I really knew was Cigar City and Funky Buddha, and maybe I've heard of JDubs, and that's it. That's my knowledge of Florida beer before I got there. And I found out there's 80 breweries in Florida. Were you in that session?
I was, and I actually lived in Tampa Bay for 4 years, and this was about 10 years ago, and none of these breweries were there when I was there. I mean, Tampa Bay Brewing was there, and it was the beginning of Cigar City. So I found out within the last 3 to 4 years is when a lot of these breweries have popped up. So I was just very impressed that it's been that fast to happen down there.
And they said in the greater Tampa, St. Pete area, which is a pretty large area, there's 80 breweries now. I know close to 200 breweries in Florida, which is astounding, well ahead of most other southern states.
Yeah. I mean, and for me, the only one that I had known of was Cigar City.
Yeah.
And Funky Buddha. God bless their last name.
Oh, well, Swamp Head.
Oh, yeah, Swamp
too.
Head. But, I mean, the amount of breweries that were there blew my mind. And just how great they were, too. It was awesome.
Really good quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, totally. So then, after that was what, the pre-dinner?
So, yeah, after the second session, the beer by numbers, was Green Flash hosted a reception, pre-dinner reception, with several of their beers in the so they had some Belgian cellar beers too, right? That was like, was that a separate brand? It was within their brand though, right?
Well, they had their Alpine brand, which is part of Green Flash.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
They had 2 IPAs from Alpine that were delicious.
Yeah.
The West Coast style. But they had some others. They had a coffee beer.
That barrel coffee was my favorite. I really enjoyed that, and not to mention it was very high ABV.
That
it was very boozy.
nice.
It was very good. I give that 5. The rating.
All right, we'll belch it up. I enjoyed the was it Passion Kicker or it was
the Passion Kicker.
Yeah, was to me that was a solid
was good.
4. It was a great beer.
Yeah.
I was a little mad about their green chili, their Poblano, I think it was.
Oh, the Poblano Stout.
Yeah, I was a little. I really like spicy beers, so I really wanted to feel it.
It was more
very
flavor than it was heat, I think, on that one. So,
but I very much enjoyed the overall presentation with all the beer and food, but that one was just okay to me.
I think, Julie, you liked the that C to C, the lager.
Yeah, I did.
That was pretty good beer, too.
Yeah. But I'm a lager fan.
Yeah. But they had nice food there and everything. It was well done.
I remember the name of that one. It was the Baroque Belgique.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic. That was a Suds 5 for me. It was a Belgian-style pale ale that had been Brett fermented and was beautiful, complex, layered, so good. And the other one they had was the Lustrous Fermento with the coffee, and that's, I think, the one.
That was the one? Okay.
That was good, too.
Yeah.
It was just really well done, and they gave everybody a couple of bottles.
Yeah.
Little gift bags and everything. And it was just a nice way to let everybody kind of chill out in that little area, and you could go out on the patio and look at the water and everything, just kind of sip on your beer before dinner. So that was very cool.
Good job, Green Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then there was dinner.
Wow.
And
that was amazing.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, the food pairings with the beer blew me away. Not to mention, it was my first introduction to Coppertail, and I was already smitten. Smitten.
It was like small plates. It was kind of more like tapas. And you could go around and get whatever you wanted, and every food had a beer with it.
Yeah.
My favorite was the one. It was like the little quail egg and sausage on a little.
That was great.
biscuit?
That was great.
And it was paired with a French toast.
Was that Funky
beer
Buddha?
From Funky Buddha.
That was one of my
Oh,
favorites.
man,
That was one of my
beer
favorites.
So
Yeah.
it tasted like French toast.
That was
Straight
great.
up
Yeah.
French toast.
Yeah,
So
it
good.
Very good.
It
That was
really
a 5.
That little
Yeah, definitely a 5.
Now, Cigar City had a dessert, a chocolate with one of their dark beers. That was also incredible. I tied that for 5.
Yeah, that was the Zukov.
Yeah.
The
Commander-
Zukov Imperial Stout.
Yeah.
That was incredible as
Yeah.
well.
Marshall Zukov's Imperial Stout.
Yeah,
I think.
that was
With
really
that
good.
Yeah.
chocolate cherry.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
I think
That was a
and
5 as
Coppertail
well.
had a couple really good beers there. And their box was cool. It was like that old metal, like
It was a
Some-
copper bucket, like almost like an old bucket. Yeah.
almost like a big wash tub or something.
Yeah.
And they converted it into a jockey box is very cool.
Yeah, the beer lover in me, or the home brewer, really liked that a lot.
Yeah.
And then Green Bench had some good beer too.
They had the IPA and I think a blonde. I don't know, man. Every beer there was pretty solid, though. Everything was really good.
And the food pairings were great. I mean, I'm wondering if Julia had anything to do with that, but it was pretty outstanding.
What was amazing about it was that food was prepared by the Marriott.
Yeah, when they first said that the hotel was doing dinner, I
wasn't excited.
Man, hotel food? But no, it was.
No, this is not your average hotel.
No, not your average hotel food at all.
And these guys got craft beer. I don't know if you went into the little sports bar, but there was like a dozen taps of the finest Florida craft beer you can find.
I
it was
walked past
really well
there.
done.
It looked pretty good, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I had a few pints there. It was enjoyable.
That's right.
And then it was so then after dinner, we did the Beer Social Expo and then the Night of Many Beers. I'm going to kind of tie them in together just because they were both in the same place.
They sort of bled together,
Yeah, they did.
The expo's fun because you get a lot of swag. I mean, you walk out there with T-shirts and more keychains and beach towels and stickers.
Yeah. So
beers.
Two of the cities that were vying for next year's conference, Milwaukee and Buffalo, both were represented there with their local beers. Some really good stuff from both.
I was really impressed by Buffalo's beer scene.
I was.
Because I used to live there in Cheektowaga, and for many.
Can't say that on the radio.
I could say that because I don't live there now.
Oh.
Yeah, but otherwise known as Cheetah Vegas, and it was just like a little suburb of Buffalo. But anyways, that place has a soft spot in my heart. But in terms of beer, when I used to live there, we'd have to go across the border all the time to get decent beer.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm talking Molson Triple X and like the good Labatt's and not what. Hey!
You're talking
judge.
going over to Canada,
right?
To get the Canadian stuff.
Going over the border to the other side. But I mean, there wasn't much else there. But now to hear what they have, and it's not just in Buffalo Central, but it's also like in Ellicottville and Hamburg. I mean, that is a beer boom in town, and that's just awesome because there's a lot of revitalization going on in the downtown area, and I'm looking forward to it. Sorry.
Yeah,
all right, we're going to do a Buffalo beer show.
Yeah, I'm excited because
let's steer it back down. So.
I wanted to just mention Milwaukee real quick. Jude and I have been to Milwaukee a couple times the last few years. I knew their beer scene was great, and I'm excited that that's where we're heading. But Buffalo, I want to go there now.
Absolutely.
Really great beer,
yeah, we
cool
definitely
people.
Need to make a trip up there.
Plus, you're right there by Niagara Falls, and that's so romantic.
Oh, you softy.
Oh,
Special guy.
Anniversary trip. Okay, but besides that, there were some other breweries that were there, some local breweries.
Who are the
Rogue and Deschutes both brought very special beer.
Yep.
That was brand new.
Rogue had incredible barrel, never released Imperial something that was really great.
Yeah.
Who had the gin barrel? Was that Uinta? How do you say that?
Uinta from Utah.
Uinta had some really nice beer.
Illegal beer or whatever.
Yeah, because there was no labels.
Yeah,
nothing.
It was phenomenal.
Awesome.
The Rogue was the Rolling Thunder Imperial Stout.
Okay. That was great.
And then it had been in Rolling Thunder barrels. Okay.
So, nice. Yeah, there were some great beers there.
Really great.
And stuff.
I was
like Kendall said,
swag out the wazoo. Go ahead.
I was impressed with Petrus because their brewer was in from Belgium.
Yeah.
And I just recently barreled a homebrew, and I was talking to him how I did it all the time, and I was really shocked when they said they don't do any sort of puree or anything. They just use juice for their fruit. And I was really shocked by that. But he talked so long with me. He was so great.
I was shocked how young that guy looked. When I found out he was the head brewer, I was like, what?
Yep.
Yeah, Petrus has some great sours. And the other one I really enjoyed that night was Dogfish Head launched their Flesh and Blood IPA.
Yeah. Yep,
that one's a 5 for me. I loved that.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see it in our market soon. Everybody will.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Very cool. And that led into the Night of Many Bottles.
That was It's always amazing.
And so what Kendall was saying earlier about us hauling some beer down from Nashville was, like everybody brings beer to kind of trade or kind of share. And we had brought some Yazoo and some Black Abbey, and we had all the Blackberry Farm and the Yazoo Embrace the Funk stuff. And there was like stuff there from everywhere, man. I mean, it was crazy.
Somebody brought a bottle, and I didn't know what this beer was. It was called Westy 12. It's pretty good.
Yeah. If you're into that, I mean.
I thought there was I thought he brought like a few bottles.
It was
of
like
that.
a six pack of Westy 12.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the kind of beer we see at this. Very rare stuff.
Yeah. So then things kind of got blurry after that.
What'd you think of that, Matt? Did you have anything special?
I can't remember. I had a lot of great stuff. I was asking people to tell me what they thought was great, and I got some really great recommendations. But yeah, I can't remember unless I look at my Untapped right now. So I don't.
The Night of Many Bottles is like the '60s. If you remember it, you probably weren't there.
Yeah, I wasn't there, so I don't remember it.
But a great variety from a lot of all those Deschutes that was there too.
Oh yeah,
The
Gina
Abysses.
from Deschutes brought a bunch of
she
special
brought
stuff.
it, man. Yeah, she came big.
Yeah, I mean, I remember drinking a few of those, thinking, "Wow, that's just."
Did you get the
impressive.
Hop Slice Session IPA?
Yes,
That was
really
nice.
good too. Yeah, yeah. But a good variety, and it just was a lot of fun because even as a local as a Nashvilleian, people were really enjoying the Nashville beers that we brought, and that made me really happy.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it always is. Well, when we come back, we are going to discuss Saturday and the rest of our BBC 16. Stay tuned.
The destination, but baby, the whole elation of riding down this lover's avenue. As slow as a willow blows, or as fast as the whirlwind grows, we glide beneath the stars in cobalt blue. Look to the left, to the right, keep your eyes on the road, my darling, wondering if we're only passing through. Open roads and open windows, my hand is yours forever, sweet love. Our eyes ahead on these back roads with a view.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are discussing our recap of the Beer Bloggers Convention 2016, which was held in Tampa, Florida. Yay. So now we're going to discuss day 2. And guys, let's talk about it.
So we started out with some very interesting sessions. Industry experts would just, kind of give, maybe about 50-minute talks on just different ways to expand your blog, how to reach a broader audience, know your analytics. So there were a lot of different topics in there, and all that was great, but now it's time to get to the real stuff.
The beer.
And the food.
Yes. So then we went to lunch. And where did we go to lunch, Julie?
We went to World of Beer, and this was sponsored by MillerCoors. And well,
no, they were awesome too.
they were.
Yeah.
I know,
Okay,
but
okay.
but as beer nerds, I'm sure there was a level of
Reluctance.
Yes.
what are we really going to have? And for us, it was cool because we sat next to Julia for lunch.
Yeah.
But
She knows a lot about beer.
she does. She really, really does. And then they brought out that special.
Okay, but hold on. So
Before we got
the
to the special
first
beer.
Okay.
when they say the first beer you're going to have is a Leinenkugels, you're like, But you know what? It was pretty good.
I liked it.
I did
Yeah,
like it.
it was good.
Yeah.
It was like a Berliner Weiss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. And the second beer, Matt, do you remember what it was?
Oh, Blue Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We had
it
some
was,
Blue Moon.
It was okay. You
Yeah.
know.
But then,
Dun dun dun.
go ahead. Say it, Kendall.
One of my bucket list beers. It was it was only a few days old, flown in fresh from Pilsen, Czech Republic, a keg of unfiltered Pilsner Urquell.
awesome.
Oh, awesome. And Julia was giving us like the play-by-play on the smell and the aroma.
Yeah.
And I think she
And
was
the
taken
history of the
aback.
beer,
Yeah,
you know,
and the
yeah.
history of the beer and, what kind of off flavors you might expect to have and what was not happening in that particular beer. Like, even, I could tell even she was impressed and tickled over it.
Absolutely.
Can we go higher than a 5 Suds rating?
5 million.
That was special.
That was that's like that was pretty once in a lifetime for most people,
And then we had a crisp and cider for dessert.
That prickly pear cider was
That was
I
nice.
liked it.
That was nice.
Yeah.
I really did like it.
I did too.
Yeah,
I did too.
I was especially impressed that World of Beer Fowler shut down almost 2/3 of the restaurant just to reserve it for us, and I thanked them profusely because I could not believe how many people we had that took up over the whole place. It was great,
and the food was really good. It paired
absolutely.
well. Every bit of it paired really well with the beers they were serving.
Yeah. And just a big shout out to MillerCoors. They the great Lisa Zimmer. They were so good to us.
They were wonderful
They
hosts.
really were.
Oh, yeah.
They really
Anytime.
were.
It was a wonderful lunch.
And
we
to
got
bring
to-
that special treat, I mean, that was awesome.
And
That
to get
was really cool.
snag an engraved Pilsner Urquell mug and bring home with you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There were 4 glasses, but that was the best one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure all of us, beer nerds, it's almost like a gag gift for beer nerds if you give somebody glassware because everybody has so much. But if you can get one of those, man, that was killer.
Yeah, that's pretty special. So then we came back and we had a couple more sessions, and what I thought was really cool was our keynote speaker.
Stan Hieronymus, if I'm saying that right, is just a legend as a beer writer.
Yeah.
So many great books. The Brew Like a Monk, the Hops book. He's got another book coming out. I forget what the name of it was, but I took a copy of the Hops book because I wanted to get him to sign it. He was great, very gracious.
He was a very cool guy.
Yeah, and it was a really great lecture too.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, as if our day can't even get any better with having, a great beer for lunch and then having a great speaker. But then we got to hang out with the guys from Petrus. I mean, how cool is that?
The Sour Power Box.
Yes.
That was cool.
Yes. Very, very cool. Yeah. And it took blending to a whole new level. I
Yeah,
think.
so we got to learn how they blend their beers using their aged pale, which is the mother beer, and create 2 or 3 other beers, and then you get to blend it yourself, and you can buy a box, and you can blend it at home, and we got another cool glass to take home, the blending glass.
Nice.
Dude.
I think we were doing okay.
Yeah, that's 5.
Yeah.
You know what? That's 5 again.
That was 5. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll confess, I missed that session. June and I both did. One of the things about beer bloggers, at some point during the weekend, I just have to take a siesta.
Yeah.
And I love sour beer,
your
but
limits,
that's I just had to miss it.
Yeah, no, I understand. But you can get that box.
Yeah, because we got the box.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you see them in the stores. The sour
Yeah.
power,
Yeah,
definitely.
It's really cool.
it's a fun thing to do. Yeah.
It is. Okay, so then after that, we went to the live beer blogging, which was held at J.J. Taylor's. They're the beer distributor. It was
They
at
had
their
a
distribution
lot
warehouse.
of Smirnoff Ice there.
Pallets and pallets.
I mean, walls of Smirnoff
Very
Ice.
tall. Very
Yeah,
tall.
they were great hosts too. They're the
Yeah.
MillerCoors house down there, and were just really wonderful to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
and some great beer, too.
Yeah, like 16 different beers we would get to try, and reps from the breweries would talk to us about them, and then you could blog it out, tweet, Untapped, however you wanted to do it, and just kind of share your tasting notes on those beers as you were doing it.
And it's like speed dating.
Yeah,
I was a little shocked that they had more national brands there than more local stuff. So I was a little disappointed in that. I mean,
That's pretty par for the course. It's usually
Yeah.
50-50 local and national.
because I believe there's a brewery from California who brought in one of the beers that almost everyone has had before. And there really wasn't a whole lot they could talk about. So I thought that was a little shocking.
I'll give them a pass on that one because the others, like What'd you think of the JDub's guy, June?
That was awesome. I couldn't wait to get my picture with that guy.
And what did you do when you got a picture with him?
Oh, June.
Well, he was wearing a cow costume, complete with udders, so I had to milk him.
I love it.
Milk the udders. Yes.
Gave him a little
But
squeeze.
But he was a
might
really
be
cool
my
guy.
Facebook profile picture too.
And why not? That's a really awesome photo.
Yeah, he was enthusiastic about his beer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
was.
was.
Yeah, he was
But his
great.
beer was good. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd
He
be
was great.
enthusiastic too.
That was probably the most chocolatey chocolate stout I
yeah,
have
it
ever.
was-
It was actually a porter, I thought. I thought it was a
Was it
milk
a porter?
chocolate porter.
Yeah, it's a porter.
It was. Oh yeah.
okay.
But
It was
was
really.
yummy.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Very chocolate.
So then after that, we went to dinner, and it was dinner in not one brewery, not two breweries, but three different breweries. Starting off with, what do we start?
Well,
with?
for us, it was
Coppertail?
Coppertail. They
Yeah, it was
split the group
Coppertail.
into three
Yeah.
buses,
Yeah.
and we each bus headed to a different one, and
Okay.
then we rotated around.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
the neat part was the actual brew bus from the area, which also brews beer. They were our transportation, so we had beer en route to more
Yeah.
beer and food for the entire weekend.
So
It was
you get
great.
Get like a can of beer between each stop
Yeah,
while
it was
you're
a
on the
lot.
bus, and then you go. And so Coppertail, yeah, they had good food.
Those crab cake pops.
yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
big time.
Yeah.
good.
Oh, not swordfish.
Yes,
sashimi,
God, the
was that it?
seafood was
yes.
phenomenal.
Yes.
Amazing.
I think that's the one that had
Great beer.
Yeah.
Those little
a lot of beef. That was
tacos.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
it's a really cool place. I like that tap room a lot, and really good beer. But then we went to Ulele. Oh
Man.
my God!
One of my
that
favorite
place was so
spots.
That was probably the most beautiful place that we
Gorgeous.
went to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone who's ever been to Tampa, the biggest recommendation is go to the Columbia restaurant. And this brewery is actually owned by the owners of the Columbia restaurant. So if you knew about that, you knew they had great food, but I had no idea about their beer pairing. So I was really impressed. It's right there on the water. Great stuff. And then when we got to go inside, you could have even more of their darker stuff. It was great.
Yeah, and the head brewer was there, and he gave us a tour and talked to us. You cannot meet a nicer guy.
Oh,
and you
yeah.
could tell how
Yeah.
in
He
love
was-
he is with brewing.
He was so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really
And
cool.
a really good brewer. His beers were top notch.
spot
yeah.
on
They
loggers.
were. Yeah, I know.
absolutely.
And loggers. I can't say enough about there being so many loggers in Florida. I was really impressed by, the variety of loggers that were there, too. Anyways, and then we ended at Cigar City.
Yeah, but there's one more thing
Oh.
about Ulele you have to mention.
Okay.
Those charred oysters.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, those are great. Those were great.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't even like oysters, and I enjoyed those very, very much.
No, those were stunning. But we ended our night then at Cigar City, which was really cool. I mean, and they pulled out all the stops for us as well, bringing, out some vintage Hunapoo and some other stuff. And it's a great place, and it's just expanding and expanding. I got to see their fooders, and, they're beautiful. I can't wait to see what comes out of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my favorite part, even though the food was delicious, I mean, authentic Cuban sandwiches, fantastic Hunapoos and other selections, but my favorite part was Oswald, the guy who was pouring beer for us.
Oh
What a
my
great
God.
story.
Wasn't he
The coolest
cool?
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loved
Awesome
his
personality.
Yeah.
loved his job, loved the beer, was so friendly, so happy to be doing what he was doing, and I just love to see that.
Cool to see someone with that much passion.
And he's
you
a
know.
young guy, so I imagine he's
Yeah.
going to have a bright career in the craft beer industry.
Absolutely.
So then we went home, and
Some of us went to sleep, and
some of us drank,
Kendall.
some
Headed
more.
out to the back patio
Yeah.
and drank more beer.
Which group were you in, Matt?
Oh, I passed out.
Yeah. It's one of the rare instances where I was so full of beer, I was like, I can't do anymore.
I was a rookie. That's my rookie mistake. So
Yeah.
I'll go.
You have to pace yourself.
Yeah, we had a great time back there. The kind of the after hours activities are always some of the most fun.
Yeah. So then our last day, which was Sunday, there were a couple of sessions, and then it was announced where we will be going next year, which I don't think was a surprise to any of us in the scheme of things.
I think we all kind of suspected it
Yeah.
because when we see somebody sponsor beer bloggers the year before, like last year in Asheville, Tampa Bay. Visit Tampa Bay was a sponsor, and so we kind of thought, well, maybe we're going there. This year was interesting because Buffalo and Milwaukee were both there, so I was, at least we were probably thinking we're going to the one or the other.
We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way. Nothing's gonna turn us back now. Straight ahead and on the track now. We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way. There's nothing we won't try. Never heard the word impossible. This time there's no stopping us. We're gonna do it. On your mark, get set and go now. Got a dream and we just know now. We're gonna make that dream come true. And we'll do it our way, yes, our way. Make our dreams come true. And we'll do it our way, yes, our way.
Which is great. It's the home of the Fonz.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And some great beer. So looking forward to that road trip next year.
I'm definitely driving up because I'll be coming home with a car full of Nuclearis.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
We may rent a box truck or something.
We may have to, yeah. So then we had a post-conference excursion to St. Pete and Clearwater, and just to, be brief about it, it was cool. I don't know, to me, well, Dave and I, we actually drove to Clearwater, St. Pete, because then we went to Gainesville afterwards on our way home. What was your experience for the post?
Well, they put us on a little brew bus again to take us over there and handed us another can of beer.
Nice.
So, perfect. Great problem to have. But they took us to Three Daughters, which I wasn't very familiar with, but I really enjoyed the beer they had.
They're huge. I mean, for somebody you've never heard of, that place.
Yeah.
But when Disney's your biggest.
Yeah. And then we hit Green Bench.
Love it.
Green Bench was incredible.
Yeah. And their head brewer can dunk a basketball.
Cool.
We have video.
Yeah. And then after that, you guys did what?
We made an unofficial stop at Cycle Brewing.
Okay.
And Cycle's really great beer, really quick stop, and then ended up at Rap, who is making some very traditional German beers.
Oh, you did go to Rap. Okay, cool. I was jealous of that.
Yeah, Rap was. What did you think of Rap, Matt? Were you on that tour?
No, I was not.
Okay, so you didn't do the post conference.
No, I was there.
Yeah, you were there. What did you think of Rap at the last
It
one?
must have been
I'm
good.
getting confused.
Can't remember.
The very last one, the little kind of a nano brewery. Yeah, they showed us in the back, and the setup was quite small, but they're making great beer on that little system. But really, really good traditional German beers.
Nice. That's very cool.
Well, this is where I used to live, St. Pete. So this was very impressive. They had anything, but like I said, these are all popped up in the last 3 to 4 years. So I was pretty shocked. But there's some pretty good stuff that's there. So I was pleased.
And we drove by breweries that we didn't even have time to stop at.
Yeah,
so
that was cool.
Between breweries, we were seeing many, many others. So St. Pete is a great beer scene. Enjoyed them all. They're all slightly different. I mean, Great Bench is making some great Green Bench making some great sours. Three Daughters, some nice, impressive beers. They had one of the nicest labs I've ever seen for a small brewery, and you could taste it in their beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quality product.
Yeah. It sounds like that was pretty cool. So Dave and I did a little detour. We did go to the first two places, and then we drove up to Gainesville, and through a small world kind of occurrence, we got to meet or we got to go to
First Magnitude and closed out their tap room. Some of the best beers I've had, not even just in Florida, but they were phenomenal. And I think it capped off what was an amazing conference. The folks at Zephyr put on a phenomenal show every year.
It gets better every year.
Yeah. So we were so blessed to be there.
Yeah, and a quick shout out to Jim Barry and showing us what Gainesville craft beer is all about.
Swamp country, they got some good beer, man.
Yeah, that they do. Well, it sounds like we had a lot of fun, and Really great stuff, guys. So we're going to wrap it up for today's Suds episode. We hope that you enjoyed this episode, and you can catch all of our episodes online, as well as on SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, yes, that's Google Play, folks, PRX, and Spreaker, our native media host. iTunes, Google Play, and our own Android app are the easiest ways to enjoy the show on your phone. Just search Sips, Suds, Smokes on iTunes or in the Google Play Store.
We love your feedback, and you can reach us online at info@sipssudsmokes.com.
Our daily tasting notes flow out on Twitter every day at Sips Suds Smoke, and on our Facebook. And our Facebook page is always buzzing with lots of news.
Do us a favor and take the time to rate this episode if you're listening to us online. That's a big help to us, and we get to see your feedback as well.
Kendall, why don't you tell us about your beer blog and where to find it?
June and I share the good news of good beer at beermakes3.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Good old boy Matt, tell us about the Nashville Beer Blog and where they can find you.
You can find us, Nashville Beer Blog, on webpage as well as social media.
Well, I'd like to thank all of our hosts. Good old boy Dave.
Hey, thank you.
Good old boy Matt.
Had a blast. Thanks for the invite.
Good old boy Kendall.
Cheers, y'all. Drink good beer.
Good old gal June.
It's fun as always.
Thanks everyone for listening, and keep on chuggling.
This has been a One Tan Hand production of Sips, Suds, and Smokes, a program devoted to the appreciation of some of the finer slices of life. From the Dude in the Basement Studios, your hosts, the Good Old Boys, will see y'all next time.